about to eat breakfast, and something I'm really trying to do to better track what I'm eating, carbs intake, protein, all that, is just start measuring out what I'm actually eating. So for breakfast this morning, I'm gonna have some Greek yogurt with some peanut butter and basically strawberry jam that I made. I'm gonna sprinkle in some chocolate protein powder, but a couple other things I'm gonna add to it. So first, I'm gonna tear out my weight. I'm gonna tear my scale so that I zero out the bowl, so I can get a accurate measurement of how much peanut butter I'm putting in there. And all of this is going to be in grams. It doesn't have, you don't have to do grams. You could do ounces, but I prefer grams because also a lot of the stuff you'll buy, sure it says ounces, but it also gives grams. I guess really it doesn't matter as long as you're measuring it. As long as you're trying to measure it as accurate as possible, I guess it doesn't really matter what you measure out. Sorry for the clanking with the bowl. All right, so there we got 54 grams of peanut butter. And this is basically natural peanut butter I get from Winco. They have a machine that just grinds up peanuts, cashews, etc. So I got 54 grams there. I'm going to tear it again so we can try to get as accurate measurements as possible. That's saying 40 grams of strawberry jam. So I'm gonna write that down. There we go. I was just double checking to make sure that I used up the last of the old Greek yogurt before I open up a new one. So now we'll tear it again. Before I get the yogurt in, I gotta get my protein powder. So I'm really not going to do a whole lot because I don't necessarily want to have the chocolate overpower the strawberry and peanut butter necessarily. That, or if you kind of get in too much, I don't know, it's kind of chalky-ish. And maybe I could do a different job of how I'm putting in this protein powder, which according to my scale, I've got 7 grams worth. And then finally, well, not finally, because there's some other stuff I'm going to do. Yeah, and I double dip because no one else is eating this. So it's all right to double dip. So a little bit there, a little bit there. Just kind of spread it around. and that's saying 136 grams. Well, let's see, boom. That added 2 more, so we'll just say 138. Actually, we'll say 140 because of what I'm about to eat / have already eaten that didn't get in the bowl. And then finally, I like to add chia seeds. It's nice for a little bit of fiber, a little bit of a consistency change. You know, all of this is pretty smooth, so the chia seeds add a little bit of, I guess, texture. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. So just kind of shake it around. For the most part, your chia seeds will get caught and trapped by the yogurt, so you don't necessarily have to worry about it falling out. And then if you have extra, you can just dump the extra back in. 6 grams of chia seeds. And then finally, a nice little amount of cinnamon on top. There we go. Now, what I want to do while I have this going is I'll show you, I made a little Excel spreadsheet that I'm using right now to keep track of, kind of help keep track of what I'm eating, what time I'm eating, again, how many carbs, proteins, fats I'm taking in. So if let's see, yeah, that's not really a good deal. But basically I put in the date and time. Right now I'll just put in, let's see, 10, 18. And the reason why I'm putting in time and the date is because ultimately I want to, because I'm a diabetic, I want to be able to eventually get all this data along with my blood glucose data and see if I can kind of model how my body is going to respond to what I eat. So let's see, peanut butter, yogurt, strawberries. I'll just put that in for now, and this will give you an approximate of how many carbs, fats, proteins I'm getting in. I forgot to put in the protein powder and the chia seeds, so if I put that in, it's going to be NA and it's not going to give me any results at all. So 54 grams of peanut butter, 140 yogurt, and then strawberries, it was 40. So for just those 3, I'm going to be intaking approximately 15.5 grams of carbs, approximately 36 grams of fat, and then almost 16 grams of protein with about 3.5 grams of fiber. So you can take out, I think it said you can, so for the grams of fiber you have, you divide that by 2, I think, and that's how much you can deduct from your carbs and how it affects your blood sugar. I'll have to remind myself of what that is. So it's that, what, 3.5 of fiber, 1.75. Yeah, that puts my grams of carbs at about 13.5, 14, something like that. So yeah, this will be my breakfast before Me and the pup go out to have a walk, enjoy time outside. I really encourage people, particularly diabetics, that you try your best to track what you're eating, how much, just to improve your blood glucose management. Hopefully it gives you an idea on really how much carbs you're taking in per meal in comparison to your physical activity and your insulin you're taking. In that way, hopefully you can see that, hey, when I eat these foods, this is how my blood sugar responds, this is how my body responds. When I'm doing this physical activity, this is how it responds. And hopefully it can just give you an idea of how you can better manage your diabetes, your insulin intake. And when I was first diabetic, I was having a harder time with my food I was taking in. So being able to, over time, see how it was affecting me and see how I could change my diet, and it over time, when I made those changes, I drastically lowered how much insulin I was taking. Initially, I forget what long-lasting insulin I was taking before, because I think now I'm taking Tresiba. Let me go check. I've got it in the fridge, or I got it in my bathroom, so. Let's see. Yeah, right now I'm taking Tresiba. I think initially what I was doing was Lantus. And no, not Lantus. I don't recall. I was taking something else originally, and I was taking 30 units of it. And now for the Tresiba, I'm all the way down to 9. And then some days I do take a fast-acting mealtime insulins, but it's much better doing that than taking 30 whole units of long-lasting. So hopefully this is encouragement or helpful for anyone.